Real numbers can be split into two subsets, irrational numbers and rational numbers. A rational number can be written as a fraction of two integers such that the denominator does not equal 0. This would include fractional values, terminating decimals, repeating decimals, and values that do not have fractional pieces or decimal pieces, for example, integers. If a decimal is non-terminating and non-repeating, you can't write it with a repeating bar, it will be considered irrational. These are a few examples of irrational numbers. If you realize that your number is rational, check to see if it's also an integer. If you realize that it's an integer, check to see if it's a whole number. And if it's a whole number, check to see if it is a natural number. If your number is a natural number, it is guaranteed to be a whole number, and also an integer, and also rational, and also real, because the natural number is a subset of each set above it. Natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Whole numbers, you include the numbers 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. You include all the whole numbers in the set of integers and their opposites. And remember, rational numbers can be written as a fraction of two integers. So definitely an integer is, you can write it as like -3/1, and you can see that it satisfies this definition. If you have a terminating decimal, for example, 1/2 can be written as 0.5, it satisfies the definition of rational. If you can write your decimal with a repeating bar, you will be able to convert it into a fraction of two integers, so repeating decimals are considered rational. All of these numbers are considered real. -6 is a real number. It is also rational because it can be written as -6/1. It is also an integer, but it is not a whole number and it is not a natural number. -0.72 is a real number and it is also rational, because you can write it as -72/100 and then simplify it. It is not considered an integer. 0 is a real number and it is also rational. It is also an integer and it is also a whole number, but it is not a natural number. 3/5 is a real number and it is also considered rational. It is not an integer. Pi divided by pi simplifies to 1. So it is real, rational, an integer, a whole number, and a natural number. The square root of 5 is non-terminating and non-repeating, so it is real and irrational.